Okay. Okay. All right. The sound should be on now, fellas. All right, man. So listen. You see the title of the video. Make sure you guys drop questions. I appreciate y'all for tuning in as per usual. But make sure you guys drop questions, drop comments, concerns, all that shit, right? I just wanted to talk about you. You see the title of the video. I wanted to talk about specifically, okay, people being lazy over and over and over again, man. Like, here's the thing. There was a TikToker. He was talking about how he eats relatively decent, but he doesn't eat like perfect, and obviously he still sees results. And that's the reality of it. Like, I know I preach to you guys to be like 100% on nutrition, be good on nutrition, be good on nutrition, be good on nutrition. The reason I do that is because you've been so fucking bad on nutrition. I'm trying to balance you out, right? And the two polar extremes, like the two opposites of the spectrum, are gonna kind of balance you out. But in reality, if you eat pretty decently, you're gonna get results. Like, we all know this shit. That's why I always talk about this shit. So, and another thing is, most people that don't get results in any aspect of their life. Like, here's the thing: people don't only ask me about fitness. They sometimes ask me about, dating and shit like that. If you have any issues dating, bro, it usually stems from you just being lazy and not giving it enough effort. To be honest, so I don't even want to hear that shit. You see what I'm saying? If you have any issues in life, right? If you're trying to accomplish something, you have to put the work in behind it. Like, it's very simple. What's good, Amza? What's going on? What's going on? But it's very simple. Like, a lot of you guys want these results, and I already tell you guys, on the other side of all the work is where the results are. Like, stop trying to skip the fucking process. Say that shit way too much. People asking people questions, drinking my electrolytes. People asking people questions in the gym and not doing any of the shit that people say. People saying they want to be like someone they want to be like, right? They see someone, they're like, yo, I'm trying to be like David Goggins. Do nothing he does. Doesn't do You don't do a thousandth of what he does. You're not disciplined for more than 3 days. All right. One of the most interesting things I've found and seen over my years of coaching is the cycle. This is the most common cycle. All right. Let me tell you what the most common cycle is. What's good, Lester? What's good, man? Make sure I like up the video. But the most common cycle is very interesting. It's like it's like someone will do good for 2 weeks, then they'll do bad for 2 weeks, right? Offsetting everything they did for the good 2 weeks, and then after 4 weeks, they'll be like, "Dang, bro, like I'm so discouraged. I'm not making progress." It's like, dude, you haven't even fucking done what you're supposed to for 4 weeks straight. If you do good for 2 weeks and bad for 1 week, even that's not like that's literally below the bare minimum. You're not even doing the bare minimum. You can't get results that way. People don't understand that for some reason. They think that everything that they do when it comes to fitness specifically, everything that they do should get results. Like, every day, like if they put in 3 days of good work, they'll be like, yo, people will text me, they'll be like, yo, I eat healthy for 3 days. I'm like, okay, you did the fucking bare minimum for 3 days. How about the other 25 years you were alive? You see what I'm saying? So I see that shit way too much. People really think that, like, there's obviously levels to this shit. I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not a men's physique competitor. They have way more muscle and they're way more dedicated and stuff like that. But if you just want to get a more aesthetic physique, you're gonna have to do the bare minimum, guys. It's not that fucking hard. But stop being like your standard. A lot of you guys have your standards so low that you get impressed by these low ass like accomplishments, like eating good for 3 days and working out for 3 days. You're so proud of yourself. You're so proud of yourself that guess what you do? Now you celebrate. You're like, oh my god, I ate healthy for 3 days, or maybe it's a week. Maybe like, yo, I never ate healthy for 7 days. It's the first time I've ever done it. Man, I deserve to eat more food. The reason most people are fat as fuck because they look at food as something they deserve, right? It's not. It's literally fuel. It's not something you deserve. How to incorporate cheat days? I have a cheat meal and it goes way over. It depends on what your body fat percentage is, man. If you're at your goals and you're maintaining, you can just have a couple of days where you increase the calories and you just put most of it towards carbs, and you try not to eat too many processed foods, because the more processed food you eat, the more processed food you'll crave. Like, when you eat a lot of processed food, what ends up happening is you crave more of that shit. So then you end up eating a bunch of bullshit, and most of it isn't filling. So if you're like, you know what, let me have a cheat meal of like candy or something like that. If you eat one bag of candy, you're gonna crave more candy. It's not gonna fill you up. Versus if you have like refeed days where you increase your carbs to like 50% and you go to maintenance if you're on a cut, and you add in like some bananas and some grapes and stuff like that and some healthier foods, and that'll keep you full longer. But it just depends on where you are. If you're not below 15% body fat, you shouldn't even be talking about cheat days, all right? Because anyone above 15% body fat obviously had too many cheat days. That's the only way to get there. So yeah, so I'm assuming you're below 50%, 15%. But yeah, like I said, man, for cheat days and refeed days and stuff like that, that stuff could give you a mental break. It could help. Just eat at maintenance for a couple of days, because you can't gain fat eating at maintenance. Obviously, if you bump your calories up to maintenance and you gain 5 to 7 pounds, that's probably muscle glycogen. Worst case scenario. You see what I'm saying? And some water weight. You're not going to gain any fat going to maintenance. So that's what I would do. I actually have a friend. He's a IFBB pro, and he does like refeed days during like his whole cut before he goes on stage. Like I think he does it every 10 day, and then he does it every 7 day, something like that. What's crazy is I get the same amount of enjoyment from eating healthy food that I used to get from eating nonsense. Perfectly ripe mango, can't even compare to processed food. Mangoes away, but I'm telling you, it takes you a while for your mind to get to that point, though. That's the thing, like, because we're so used to this unhealthy food. And you know what's funny, right? Like when you start eating healthy and then you try to go back to eating, unhealthy for a long period of time, your body feels wrong, right? If you go on like a 4 day binge or some shit like that, your body just feels wrong, and you just gravitate towards eggs, healthy food, shit like that. Some say supersets, some say drop sets. No, just keep it simple, bro. Just keep it simple. It's not no. It also depends on where you are. If you are super shredded, you're super lean, you're you're considering jumping on stage, then you could incorporate some drop sets to increase intensity, shit like that. But it's not really necessary. You can do pyramid sets, you can do straight sets. Just make sure you're challenging yourself with those sets. If you challenge yourself with straight sets, you're gonna get good results. Like, here's the thing: a four sets of like 6 reps or 8 reps can look completely different if you go too low in weight and you take too long of a break versus if you go at the right weight and you take decent breaks. Like for me, if I'm doing incline dumbbell and I'm doing let's say I'm doing 4 sets of 8, I'm gonna warm up with probably like 70 pounds or some shit like that. And then for the 4 sets of 8, I'm probably gonna grab some 110s because I'm fucking skinny, so I can't lift as heavy as I used to. And I'll take about 90 seconds in between. So by that fourth set, I'm gonna be dying to get that eighth rep. It's gonna be intense. I'm not just like sitting around watching movies on my phone and shit. That's what most people fucking do. Okay. I don't like cheat days. I do a cheat meal every once in a week. Don't go overboard. And my cheat meal is mostly barbecue. Here's the thing. I'll be honest with you guys. Like I said in the beginning of this video, there's a fitness dude on TikTok. He was talking about he eats like pizza and a bunch of shit a couple of days a week. You can do that shit and stay lean. Like if you're lean and you understand your body and you're consistent. Because if you eat like absolute bullshit 10% of the time, you're still gonna be lean as fuck. It's really not. Like it's really not that deep. Like I can have a cheat week, and then worst case scenario, I gain 5 pounds, but it's really just muscle glycogen. That's worst case scenario. I'm still lean as fuck. So, and then I get right back on track, and guess what? I flush out some of the water weight. I didn't gain any fat. It's really that simple. All right, all right. Is it normal? When's the last time you had a Starbucks muffin? Yo, Starbucks muffins be fucking hitting, bro. They be hitting, bro. What is it, like 360 calories? Man, them bitches hit, bro. Them motherfuckers hit. Is it normal for your old appetite to go away when you lose a certain amount of weight? Your appetite's gonna decrease. You're still gonna have some cravings. Cravings will pick back up as you get leaner and leaner and leaner. You ever take a longer break, like a week out for your joints and shit to fully recover? That's actually a great thing to do, but yeah, it's pretty hard for me to do that. The best I'll do is maybe like calisthenics, for upper body for the week, and then still do like squats and stuff like that, but just take it light. Folks will say, "Enjoy your life, live a little," when referring to bad food. I'm always like, "What?" Yeah, that's so funny. That's so funny because they be living shorter than we do. Because you know what I'm saying. Like honestly, even if you live the same amount of time as someone who eats unhealthy, they're just gonna have a lower quality of life and less respect from everybody, and like their life is just gonna be different. Like I'm telling you, when you're out of shape, specifically when there's language barriers. Like I've seen how I got treated versus someone like in different countries. I've seen how I got treated versus someone who's like out of shape. We're both foreigners, but they're like out of shape. And obviously, when you're out of shape, your face looks, you have more pimples. Your face looks all messed up, and you just look disheveled. You just look like you don't give a fuck, right? So people just don't respect you, and then they see me like they start conversations. That's why I say a lot of times I say like I know someone said yesterday, they're like, "Oh my God, like you don't want to overdo self improvement." Obviously, bro. But the thing is, during your self improvement journey, you get confidence from self improving, obviously. And then you go to different places, like you go to gyms, you might go hiking. You're going to go out with friends, but you're going to look different this time, right? People are going to start conversations with you. You're going to be more social. You're going to have more energy. You're going to have good vibes. Like, I'm not saying don't talk to humans. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying don't talk to fucking people and just try to like just stay locked in your room or some shit. No, still go out and talk to people, but as you get leaner and leaner and leaner, you're going to see your interactions change, and you're going to gain confidence from keeping commitments to yourself. Like what happened to me is I was just introvert incel. Then I start working on myself, and then I start progressively overloading every other aspect of life. You see what I'm saying? And then I start to see like, okay, let me talk to more people at the gym, you know, and then have interactions at the gym. People might come up to you at the gym. You know what I'm saying? You see chicks looking at you. You might go up and approach or something like that. Simple shit like that. All right. How do these athletes put on so much mass? When off season, for example, these QBs and centers look so beefed up at training camp. You said mass, bro. It's easy to put. It's so easy to put on mass. What are you talking about? You just eat a bunch of food. It's not that hard. Now, putting on muscle is different though. But putting on mass is pretty easy. It's just a mix of muscle and fat and water weight. You just eat a bunch of food. All right. The biggest hurdle for me making progress in the gym has been ego lifting. I would take my 2 rep max, I would the bench until I would hit 3 sets of 10. Could you speak on that? No, I really can't speak on that because I mean, for me personally, I've always been humbled by my brother's lifting. So I was just like, I always thought I was weak, right? Because my brother was doing 225 for 10 reps in 10th grade at 165 shredded, and everyone was like, "Yo, what the fuck? How is he doing that?" Just because he was consistent. So then I just followed his lead, and I was like, "How is he getting strong?" And I watched him. He just literally does the same workout every week. He adds fucking 5 pounds every 2, 3 weeks onto his bench. If you do that long enough, you're gonna be repping 315. So then he was repping 315. Then he was repping 335 at 165, right? So then me, once I started working out by myself, like my brother went to college, I would be in the gym and I would just be, doing like 315 for reps or like 245 for reps, shit like that. And people be like, "What the fuck? You're kind of strong." But then I don't really care about that because the ego lifting doesn't benefit anybody. Nobody cares about the ego lifting. The best case scenario, you might impress a dude or some shit like that. But ego lifting doesn't give you any benefits. It increases risk of injury, and I live for longevity and aesthetics, and I don't want to be feeling like shit. My shoulders fucked up and feeling sore, or feeling like I'm on the verge of injury because I wanted to live heavy to prove what? Like, what are you trying to prove? You see what I'm saying? Like this, if you really want to get technical with it, there's always gonna be someone out there stronger than you. Like that's not your goal. Your goal is to be the best version of yourself. You see what I'm saying? My friend who doesn't work out says he doesn't drink or smoke because he likes eating out and sweets. He sounds pretty cooked. Sounds pretty cooked. Yeah, I don't even really flat bench though. Flat bench doesn't like building your chest. I always incline bench and all that other stuff is always better for my chest, like incline Smith. You wear cheaper clothes and look way better when you're jacked. It's crazy. I'm telling you, man. All I do, bro. And you know what? I was gonna say something about that because I'm tired of people like this shirt I'm wearing right now. You see what I'm saying? This shirt I'm wearing right now, I got it from Zara's from what is it like $5 or some shit? It's on sale for like $5. And someone will come to me and be like, "Oh shit, dude, you look great. Like, where'd you get that shirt from?" It doesn't matter where I got the shirt from, bro. I don't have a big ass stomach. That's why it looks like this. That's it, bro. You feel me? People will stay random. People was talking to me. Are people out of shape in Thailand? No, just the foreigners. Just the foreign, bro. I told you guys. Actually, I told my TikTok. I got on a flight, bro. I got on a flight in Vietnam, bro, and I had the highest BMI on there, bro. You guys already know I'm 10% body fat, but I'm talking about BMI. Like I had the highest because my BMI is like what 25, like just height and weight. Like I had the highest BMI on that flight, bro. Promise to God, like everyone was lean. Not like muscular lean, but like healthy lean. You know what I mean? Because they just don't binge eat like Americans do. Americans just binge eat. Do they have a Walmart? No. What's your current training split? It's always push pull legs, bro. I keep it simple. I keep it simple. Like here's the thing. Me and my boys, we all do like very simple workouts. Everybody else just does all this complicated shit, and then they get mad when they don't get results. They change their nutrition every day. They get mad when they don't get results. They're not being consistent, so they can't compound the results over time. It just is what it is. It's not rocket science, right? Keep switching shit up. Keep not seeing results. It's just like when they say play stupid games to win stupid prizes. That's exactly what it is when people aren't tracking their fucking calories. When people are doing that, the goofiest shit of all time is that 2 week shit, man. Everyone does this. They do 2 weeks of eating healthy, and then they're happy and they celebrate by 1 week of eating bad, and then after 3 weeks they're like, "I don't have results." I'm like, you're not doing the fucking bare minimum. Get the fuck out of my face. Like that shit's so annoying. You're not doing the bare minimum. That's not impressive. Eating healthy for 2 weeks is that means you're doing the bare minimum. What you're supposed to do for 2 weeks. That's not impressive. No one's ever been impressed by the bare minimum. Doesn't make any sense. Crazy. I just thought I could hack progressive overload by ego lifting, but I did that for 2 years. Went up maybe 30, 50 pounds. Yeah, that's yeah, man. Like honestly, my first years of like bulking and eating right, I literally went up like 300 pounds on deadlift, like 200 pounds on squats, and like 100 pounds on bench. And then incline dumbbell, I went from I think I started at like 35s, and then I went up to like 130s just because I was being consistent. That's what happens when you're consistent. It's really not that hard. But what I realized in the gym and what my brothers realize, what my friends realize, is that nobody is consistent. That's all it is. It's literally all it is. Nobody is consistent. What would be your number one tip for beating procrastination? I mean, it's not really a tip, but you just have to really you have to write down what you want, bro. You have to write down what you want, and then you have to really want it. That's all it is. Because once you really want something, you're gonna do it. If the only thing like procrastination also comes from like if you focus on the results you don't desire as well. Like if you're like I don't know if I could do this, then you'll procrastinate. But just honestly, just get up and do what's on your fucking to do list. Write down a to do list and just do it, bro. Just do it over and over and over again. Simple. What's your like and like I don't want to give like I don't want to give gimmicky tips because it all comes down to just how bad you want it. Like action will show how bad you want something. What's your cardio and will you post a routine if you haven't done? No, you know, yeah, I don't do cardio. I told you. If you want to get lean, bro, you literally just have to slowly reduce your body fat percentage. Guess how long that takes? It takes longer than people are willing to put the work in. So guess what? People never get the results. Why? Because they're impatient. It's really that simple. If you're trying to go for 20% body fat, 10%. Now, Nady Bo Peep made a good point with the ego lifting because he has a lot of awareness by even writing that down. But he said by ego lifting, he made less progress than if he didn't ego lift. That's exactly how it is when people fad diet instead of just slowly cut back on calories, right, and stay consistent in deficit. Because if you lose 1%, trust me, if you lose for a year, if you lose 1% body fat like every 3 weeks, right? You'll be losing like 17% body fat, right? Because 52 weeks in a year, 17 times 3 is like 51. So if you were 27% body fat and you lost 1% body fat per every 3 weeks, just by staying consistent, after a year, you'd be to 10% body fat, right? You'd be shredded. People would be like, oh my God, you're on steroids. While everybody else is losing, 20 pounds in 2 weeks, 1% body fat, and then they gain it back because they're doing a fat diet that's unsustainable. That's what most people fucking do. All right. You allow yourself Diet Coke. I could drink Diet Coke whenever I want to, bro. It's not gonna hurt you. It has no calories. Staying locked in on the weekends is so important. Oh shit, yeah, yeah. Hey, there we go. That's one of the main things. I can't believe I just forgot about that shit. I can't believe I forgot about that. Yeah, dude, being locked in on the weekends, which for me it doesn't register because every day is the same. But I know for some people it's like, oh my god, we can celebrate. Let me celebrate. What the fuck are you celebrating? Let me binge drink for what? You can't drink away your problems, bro. Like you hate your life because you're out of shape and your girl's not attracted to you. After you drink, you're gonna be further away from loving yourself. Like so, it makes no fucking sense. Was nursing school worth it, bro? If you, if you, if I went back for nursing, I would do things differently. Like I would, I wouldn't have debt anyway, so that would help, and I would pay for school. So then by the time I graduate, I have no debt, and then you're just profiting. You see what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie, I'm having trouble accepting that I need to work to get somewhere in life. It's like I'm angry that I have to work for what others can get easily. Any advice on that? That's a dumbass thought, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because a lot of times people make things look easy. The only way people make things look easy is because they have experience because they've been consistent. But that makes sense. That thought process you're having, that anger you're having, that's real. Now, the next thing is how are you going to act on that? Because that's exactly how I used to feel. That's what I'm not gonna say motivates, but that's what kind of pushes me. Anger always pushes me, bro. I'm like, damn, why do they have that? But it's like the only reason people have shit, and you don't want to compare yourself to others, obviously, but you can be motivated by others. But the only reason someone has something is because they work for it. Now, if you look on Instagram, that's some of the goofiest shit of all time. I hope you're not talking about Instagram. Instagram is different, but if you're talking about other things, then that's cool. But Instagram specifically, it's all fake. Like I'm not being a hater, but yeah, Instagram. Like I know some people on Instagram and shit like that. A lot of the shit's fake. It's just a lot of rented bullshit. It's really just dumb, right? It's really just dumb. So if you're looking at Instagram, stop scrolling Instagram so much because most people have rented cars, business. Like if they're out with a girl, they're tricking her, and they're using business credit to even be out. So it's pretty sad. Just finished leg workout, getting my 10K steps. Good shit, bro. There's literally no excuse anymore. I got my workouts and how much calories I gotta eat. It's really about your mindset though. Like I always say, like if you guys ask me my macros, that shit doesn't matter. It's about your mindset to execute nutrition, to eat whole foods, to eat high protein. It's a mindset, right? Once you change your perspective on food, because here's the thing, you can have perfect workout, perfect macros, all that shit. If your mindset is like food is a reward and the gym is where you burn calories and I deserve this and I deserve that and you have this dumbass short-term instant gratification mindset, you're not accomplishing shit. The wrong person in the right situation will make it a wrong situation. The right person in the wrong situation will make the most of that situation and they'll end up in the right situation. That's just how it fucking works. All right. What's the best brand of water for water fasting? I'm trying to do for water fasting. Try to do for 7 months, but I don't know what. No, 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 no. Listen, listen, listen. I don't know if this is some kind of joke. I'm pretty sure that's a joke, bro. What else some good? Oh yeah, this is a joke. This is a joke. Yeah, yeah. Get the fuck out of here with that water fast and shit. What's your workout split? Push pull legs, man. Simple. So you're saying work and pay for it instead of getting the debt. I mean, no, that's just me. That's what I would do because that just like honestly, bro. One of the most annoying things, one of the most like crippling things, is just getting so much debt. Like if you have a little bit of debt, it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? It's not controlling you. But when you just, if you take out like, if you go to nursing school and you take out like 60K in debt, that's not that bad, right? Now, if you pay that shit, if you actually open up the document and you open it up and you look, if you pay it how they tell you to pay it, you're gonna end up paying like 110K or some shit. You see what I'm saying? So that's just a fuckload that you don't need hanging over your head. So if you were to pay it off during school and just endure the grind, right? Maybe get into the best shape of your life, lock in on nutrition, lock in on school, and just suffer for like a couple of years, you'll just be smooth sailing after that. Because then when you graduate, it's like I said, it's all profit. You don't have to deal with the nursing school politics anymore, and you'll be good to go, man. Are you gonna do a live collab with Martel? That's a good idea, man. That's a good idea. I've lost 35 pounds since last fall. Some was muscle. I can feel it in my forearm, biceps, delt, traps. I mean, keep the protein as high as possible. Um, if you eat at maintenance for a couple of days, you'll probably gain some of that muscle. I mean, for a couple of weeks, you'll probably gain some of that muscle that you lost back, or some of it could be muscle glycogen. You could be depleted. A lot of weight loss is like if you cut for a long period of time, you're gonna have muscle glycogen depletion, obviously. What do you think about upper lower split? It's the same. It's basically the same as push pull legs, literally, because most people do upper lower, and then they'll do one more day where they either mix full body or they do calisthenic upper body or they do a weak point, which basically makes it push pull legs. You're hitting everything twice. Simple. At the same time, bro split also works. It's really just about consistency. Like I said, man, nobody's consistent. It's not about this perfect workout routine. Like, yo, because here's my problem with TikTok. And this is what happens to a lot of people, right? This is what happens to a lot of fucking people. People are like, yo, like someone will be on TikTok and obviously they want some views, so they'll be like, dude, like my physique started blowing up when I did upper lower. But nobody scrolls back to the person's page and sees that that person was jacked the whole fucking time because they've been lifting for years. Like the upper lower did not make a difference in their physique. Their physique was already, the shit. But your first impression of them is like dumb looking jacked and them saying upper lower changed my physique. It's like you look at their physique, it's always been like that. They've always been shredded with a lot of muscle. You see what I'm saying? But like people are like, oh my god, it got to be upper lower. So they change their entire split and then they change every exercise selection. It's not that deep. It's not that fucking deep, bro. Like if you are doing the basic exercise, like I was talking to my friend about this shit because he played ball and he's always active, and we talking about this. We're like worst case scenario, right? You're really in the trenches. You're really in the trenches, like you're really struggling, like, and you only have a barbell or some shit and some weights. If you were to do worst case scenario, like I said, if you were to do on back day, you just do like some pull ups, maybe like you put a pull up bar in the garage or something like that. You do like 10 sets of 10 pull ups and like 10 sets of barbell rows, or maybe you could do 5 sets of barbell rows, 5 sets of pull-ups, 5 sets of deadlifts for back day. Then you could do 10 sets of 10 on squats and like 5 sets of lunges or some shit. Then on chest day you can do incline, 10 sets of incline, 10 sets of shoulder press. You did that shit consistently for a year, you're getting better results than most people, bro. It just is what it is. But nobody's consistent. And it's that simple. So like all these people are saying like, yo, should I do like cartwheels in between sets? They just be saying stupid shit like, oh, should I do the rope exercise, stairmaster? It's like, dude, I don't give a fuck what you do for cardio. You're eating like shit. You're just wasting your fucking time. All right, locked in 6 days a week, down 5 pounds. Good shit, man. Good shit. All right, my fattest sister-in-law complains all the time about being fat. She says she loves food too much. I says so do I, and that should make it easy. You just don't love healthy food. Facts. I'm an OG. He changed for real. Appreciate you, James. Appreciate you, man. I've been on fat loss and I don't really understand why everyone says different stuff, but I literally just focus on protein calorie deficit. I don't even care about the carbs and fats. I mean, obviously you want to make sure you pay attention to your fats just to make sure your hormone levels are there, and then carbs are going to be good for energy levels. It also depends on what stage you are in your fat loss journey because the beginning of the fat loss journey is when people get like that overconfidence. Like if someone's, for example, if someone's 40% body fat, as they go all the way down to 20% body fat, it's not going to be too hard. They're going to be like, oh yeah, this shit's easy. And then once they hit like that 18 to 20 and they're trying to get down to 10, that's when you really got to lock in, be more meticulous. That's usually where the struggle comes in and people are like, man, fuck this shit. And then they kind of go up to the average, back up to average, which is 28%. That's what I see. That's what I see a lot. Like most people are like, yeah, man, I was losing weight easy and then it slowed down. It's like, yeah, because you're 40% body fat, it's easier to lose that. It's easier to lose when you're at 40% body fat because to maintain that, you have to eat a lot of shit. So if you were to eat, for example, if I get to 40% body fat and I want to get down to 30, I can literally, I eat healthy for 4 days, right? right below maintenance. And then for 3 days, I could literally eat fucking cookies and still lose fat because I have so much fat to lose. Like 40%, you have so much fucking fat to lose. Like it's the reason you weren't losing is because you had 7 days of cookies and chips and fried foods. So if you cut it down to 3, you're already losing. You see what I'm saying? So, but when you're trying to get to 20, when you're trying to get from 20 to 10 and you want to maintain your muscle mass, that's when it gets more meticulous. All right, 3 eggs, 122 grams ground turkey, cheese, protein shake. Yeah, yeah. You just keep it simple, man. You just keep it simple. Like I said, man, when it comes to the reason people don't reach their goals, and yeah, some of it's laziness, obviously. The other part is unrealistic expectations. And the other part, right? The other part is the most annoying shit of all time. Is motherfuckers who just want the results faster than it can happen. If you tell someone, like, here's the thing: if you tell someone, hey, man, like, for example, why people get mad at the car shop. Hey, it could take up to 3 hours. Just because you said 3 hours, now they want it to happen in 1.5. If you said 1.5, they would want it to happen in 30 minutes. If you said 5 minutes, they'd want it to happen in 2.5 minutes. They literally just have a fucked mindset when they want everything faster than it can happen. Period. Period. What pre-workout are you taking before hopping on live? I'm not taking no pre-workout. This is literally just water and electrolytes in a Gatorade bottle. Even 10 to 9% body fat is a struggle. I had to cut out oatmeal just because I don't want to weigh it out. Yeah. Of course, of course. Once you hit about 12%, every percent after that is significant, extremely significant. Had to eat a small bag of chips today for the salt. Tomorrow I'll be bringing some hard-boiled eggs to work with some salt. Bring some almonds or some veggie straw chips. Those have a lot of sodium as well too, or some white cheddar popcorn or some shit like that. But yeah, I mean, a small bag of chips, if you have control, isn't bad. The reason I tell people not to eat chips is because usually chips are what got them to 40% body fat. So obviously they can't eat like one small bag. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, like if being honest, like I remember I had a client and this was like, what was this, a year ago, 2 years ago? And he was like, "Yo, can I just fit in some chips?" I was like, on paper you can, but since that's your weakness, it's not gonna fucking work. One bag's gonna turn into 10 bags. And if you do one bag for one day, that's amazing. Congratulations. But then you're gonna be thinking about it and you're gonna be craving it more. And it's gonna be in your cupboard with temptation. So when you have a bad day, you're gonna eat like 5 bags of chips or some shit like that. So it's really that's what it is. It's not actually eating the bad food. Like the bad food triggers cravings and it makes you want more. It gives you a dopamine hit. That's where the issue is. I know a lot of people be like, well, you can eat bad, you can eat chips and still get lean. On paper, you can. In reality, it's gonna eat up some of your calories. It's not gonna fill you up, so it's not gonna happen. Straight up. Hardest part is hitting the protein, in my opinion. No, it's not. It's not hard to hit protein at all. Spam eggs, yogurt, and eat one source of meat twice a day. Pause, and you're good. It's that easy to hit protein. Do not ever like think it's a struggle to hit protein. It's not. It's not. And then if you really want to if you really like are lazy, protein, drink a lean body or a core power, or do 2 scoops of protein. That's 50 grams, and you're good to go. It's not. It's literally not hard. Exactly, I'm 33%. People try to rave about everything else, but protein calorie deficits need to be more consistent. Yeah, once you get down to like the 18 to 20, you'll start to have to pay attention more to the numbers. That's why I say pay attention to the numbers now, so you know how to adjust them when you get to 18 to 20. You got to be proactive. I think I'm at 18% body fat. I can see my abs, but I have a small tummy. Then again, I got Crohn's, and it makes me feel bloated as fuck. I mean, what are your trigger foods though? What are your trigger foods? And Do you start your morning off by fasting, or do you start off with some yogurt? What if you focus on fat loss and don't care for muscle, then build it after? Is that reasonable? That's the dumbest fucking idea because the more muscle you have, the more fat you'll burn at rest. And if you try to lose fat without building or maintaining muscle, then you're just gonna be skinny fat. And then trying to build it after it literally makes no fucking sense. I literally don't understand that concept. Like, anyway, some lady tried that. She was on my live and she's like, "Oh my god, I tried to lose weight as fast as possible." Then I was like, "Okay, I'll just gain the muscle later." Why? Because you're focused on the scale going down, and that's what gives you happiness. Like, I don't fucking understand that shit. Like, you're just gonna waste time and piss yourself off so bad. And worst case scenario, if you have a lot of weight to lose, then you're gonna have saggy skin, loose skin, and then you're gonna try to gain muscle back. But then now you got to get skin surgically removed because you try to cut too fast because you're focused on the weight instead of actual fat loss. All right, just focus on fat loss because it's gonna be more sustainable. Yes, it'll be slightly slower than simply just losing weight, but you won't have any regrets when you get to your goals. If you take calorie deficit route instead of fad diets, is it going to be every fad diet is a calorie deficit? They're generally just too aggressive or restrictive. All right, so every fad diet incorporates some kind of calorie deficit. They're generally just too restrictive. All right, simple, simple, simple. They're generally just too restrictive. So calorie deficit is going to make sure that you stay it's gonna be more sustainable because you'll be eating more foods. Like in a calorie deficit, like for example, when I'm in a calorie deficit, I could eat eggs, I could eat tater tots, I could eat, some homemade fries if I like make them myself, potatoes and shit like that. I could just pretty much eat all fruits and everything when I'm in a calorie deficit. But if you're in like a keto diet, then you could only eat meat, pause, and like fat and protein. That's it. All right. What do you think about couscous? What is couscous? Go look up the calories, bro. Go look up the calories. Fair enough, fair enough. Yep. Bad habits compounded to backslide. Best bet is substitutions, Quest chips, Halo ice cream. Other options, 20 pounds down to maintaining. Good shit, good shit. Hey, Ali, what's good? What's good? What's good? Shout out to Ali, man. Shout out to Ali. Now, I will say this. I will say this. This is a great point. This is a great point. Let me tell you something. This is a great point because yes, those snacks help, but I only say those snacks help for lean people or people who are closer to their goals. Because what ends up happening is if someone is a dopamine addict and they just want dopamine hits, they're gonna overeat the Halo Top, which is pretty hard to do, but they can do it, right? Because they're addicted to the dopamine hits. So they'll overdo the Quest chips and the dopamine. I mean, in the yogurt, they'll overeat that shit, so then they'll be in a calorie surplus. Now, it's high protein and it is extra food, but all excess calories is going to turn into excess fat, and if you already have excess fat, then you won't be making progress in the direction you want. So it does depend on the situation. Because yeah, if someone's like 30, 40% body fat and they've really been struggling with food, and you tell them, hey, if you're having a sweet tooth, just eat this. They're not really having a sweet tooth because they're not having cravings. Best believe you're not hungry. You don't have a lot of cravings at 40%. Like hunger cravings, it's more so dopamine hit cravings, which is interesting. But yeah, I've definitely found that very interesting. So I always got to know where someone is in their journey because I can give someone advice and it makes sense, and for the other person, it's like the worst advice I could possibly give them. Like I could tell someone who's getting lean, I'm like, yo, that craving that you have, just have some Halo Top, right? If I tell that to someone else, they're gonna eat like 7 pints of Halo Top or some shit. All right, I have 3 eggs with Carb Smart wheat bread, 170 gram hash browns, 4 ounce sirloin steak. Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, you can fit all that shit in there. That's what's up, bro. Good shit, man. Good shit. Be honest, if Crumble sponsor you, you would fold. Yo, you know what's funny about that, bro? What's up with this Cal AI app shit? You got legit influencers using this goofy ass Cal AI app shit that where you take a picture of food and it gives you the wrong calories and they still post it. Yo, like they'll take a picture of steak and it'll say 770 calories, which is accurate. Not really. I'm just kidding. It's not even fucking accurate. Then they'll take picture of like some goofy food, and it'll say like 500 calories when the real calories is like 1,500. That can literally fuck up your life, bro. Like, and they're pushing that Cal AI app like crazy. It's like it's so inaccurate, it's ridiculous. And people are like, no, it's good if you're on the go. No, just look at the fucking menu, bro. Jesus Christ. All right, is carnivore diet a good option to go along with the good workout routine? Dude, you don't need to do carnivore. You literally just need to be in a calorie deficit, bro. Carnivore, like I just said earlier, it's a fat diet because it's too restrictive. If you're American or if you're Haitian like me or you have some kind of Caribbean background, some kind of you know African background, you are used to eating a lot of rice. So just going from eating a lot of rice to only eating meat and stuff and cutting out carbs, it's literally gonna, you're gonna feel restricted, and it's gonna be less sustainable. You do what's necessary. Like I say, if you do the bare minimum will ensure that you're more consistent than if you didn't do the bare minimum. Because the bare minimum, why I call it the bare minimum, is what you need to get results. But it's also not overdoing it to the point where you burn out. A lot of people try to burn out. They're like, "No, I'm so motivated. I'll do carnivore right now. I'll do anything right now." And they're like so motivated, and then after 2 weeks, your motivation burns out, and you look at your routine, you're like, "Holy shit, this is unsustainable." Right? You're gonna have to have a David Goggins mentality to execute that shit. All right. I knew that app was bullshit. Influencers just got paid to promote it. Nah, they're getting paid a lot because if Alex Eubanks promoting some shit, then they're giving you at least it got to be at least 20K a month because Alex Eubank ain't stepping down for nothing less than that, bro. It's not even like calorie AI is not even goofy. It's like it's literally worse than V Shred, bro. I think it's worse than V Shred. You think loose skin is preventable for people that go? Yeah, yeah. If you go slow and you lift weights and you're patient, you're not gonna have as much loose skin. I think when you get to like the 500, 600 range, it's a little bit harder to not have loose skin, even in the 400 range. But if you're like 350, you know, 320, that range, you can definitely get down without loose skin if you take time. The next move for influencers is getting sponsored by OpenAI. Yo, Luther just finished daily 12K steps. Good shit, man. Good shit. I'm thinking about I've been thinking about steps. I just never I usually don't do steps because I mean I don't know. I usually don't do steps because for me it depends on where I am in my journey though. And I also know that when it comes to nutrition, my nutrition tends to be more locked in than most people's. So I got that going for me. Like if you're 80% on nutrition, the steps could kind of mitigate that a little bit. But if you're 100% on nutrition, then the steps is like you don't really need them. You just stay high intensity in the gym, and you stay killing it in the gym. You stay not losing strength in the gym. All right. I've turned out so much Haitian food. If I decide to have a plate, I make sure it's at least no, 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 no. There's no such thing as a Haitian plate less than 1,100 calories, bro. The grease on the plate after you eat it is 1,100 calories, bro. You are not gonna find. There is no way you're finding a Haitian plate for 1,100 calories. The shit looks like it's 400 calories. If you get a little bit, it looks like. But then make sure you watch your grandma cook the food because when my grandma cooked the food, I was mesmerized. I was like, yo, she added like fucking 10,000 calories. Now, obviously, you spread it out into the servings, but she added 10,000 calories in just like butter and cream of coconut and all this other shit. I'm like, holy shit, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, because if you eat plain rice, it has a certain amount of calories, nowhere near the amount of calories as the same amount of rice from Haitian food. Is V Shred legit? Now he's basically like the Cali app shit. Which apps do you use? Just use my fitness pal and relax, bro. Like just chill out and use my fitness pal, bro. That's all you got to do. All these apps and shit. Yo, there's some people who use 20 apps with zero results. Why? Because they're focused on the apps. Like they're focused on the goofy dopamine hits they get from the apps. Like, congratulations. Like, okay, say your name is Jack, right? Now let's say your name is Bill. Say your name is Bill and Jill, like the Kodak Black song, right? Say you got Bill and Jill. Motherfucking Bill is just locked in on his shit. He's literally the only thing Bill is doing is he's working out consistently, lifting weights, making sure he's tracking his weights, getting stronger. He's eating high protein in the deficit. He's getting his sleep and he's drinking water. That's all he's doing. He's not paying attention to like, oh my God, how much REM sleep did I get? And when was I in a fat burning zone? He doesn't give a fuck about that goofy shit. All right. That's all he's focusing on. You got Jill over here. Jill is not doing what she needs to do with nutrition. However, she's looking up how long she's in a fat burning zone. Number one. Number two, she has an app that shows her how many steps she got and it congratulates her, like, congratulations, Jill. This is your seventh day in a row with 10,000 steps. So she's doing all that and she's getting these dopamine hits. So she keeps rewarding herself with food because she's not paying attention to her calories because she has all these apps paying attention to, her sleep quality and all this other shit that's not the bare minimum. Get the foundation first. All right. She's trying to build a house without a foundation. Goofy shit. All right. Rice absorbing those oils and butters. Yo, for real, for real. I miss my Nigerian food. Haven't had it for a while. Oh, I wish I could miss food, bro. I just don't have a relationship with food like that, bro. Samsung Health Cal. I don't know what that is. One more hour into my 48 drive fast. People be hating on Caribbean and African food, but them niggas really burn 6,000 calories a day. yo, and I mean, listen. The reason we eat like that is because in Haiti you would need those calories. You'd be walking around every day. You'd eat one big ass meal. You see what I'm saying? Like over here, people just be eating and not moving. Just be eating and not moving. What's good, Real Magic City? Yeah, I use the macro factor and that's it. How do you track your workouts? Use a spreadsheet. You can use an app, spreadsheet, or pen and paper, literally. Yo, you know what? You know what I love? Because I'm an old head. I see, I always see like the last few times I went to Crunch, I saw like this older dude, probably like 50, and he's super lean, and he writes down his workouts, bro. He writes down like the weight that he does, which is awesome. Now, another thing you could do if you're super lazy, I do my shit on a Google Docs. Like I make a table, then I have my workout there. And then if I go up in a way, I'll just put a number next to it. It looks kind of messy, but it is what it is. Um, but at this stage, I'm not trying to like get super strong. I'm just trying to maintain strength, gain a little bit of strength. I'm not trying to gain like 100 pounds on each lift and shit like that. You see what I'm saying? I used the Lose It app and play soccer, so I have to eat more. The opposite problem that most people do. Yeah, yeah. See, because you've been. I mean, the thing is, if you look at your lifestyle, your lifestyle has always been there. So having awareness of how you've always been lean is also good too. Now, what you need to do is if someone asks you like, "That's not fair. You've always been lean." Never take that shit. Never listen to people who say that's not fair. You've always been lean because you've always been active and you've always been locked in on your shit. Because there's some people. My homeboy even said that shit. I was like, never say that shit again, bro. Never fucking say that shit again. He was like, yeah, man, I'm lucky. I always been lean. I'm like, no, you're not lucky. You put the fucking work in, bro. You're always consistently working out. You're always paying attention to what you're eating. That's why you're lean. You're not fucking lucky. You're locked in. It's a big difference. Big difference. Oh yeah, Apple Notes is the shit. How do you get over muscle soreness? I hate to say it. Is it safe to train say muscle whilst sore after like a day of rest. I mean, technically, some muscles, you can train after 48 hours, but you do want to get rest because you want it to, you want it to recover and shit like that. But if you have muscle soreness, I mean, you might just be doing too much volume. You might not be taking enough rest days. You might not be getting enough sleep. You might not be drinking enough or eating enough protein. There's all those factors. Like if you're not getting sleep, you're not recovering from shit, bro. If you're getting 5 hours of sleep instead of 8, good luck recovering, bro. Even 6 will make a difference between like 4 and 6 hours of sleep makes a huge difference. So that can be something. And then if you're just doing too much volume, obviously you're just because some people, I mean, the gym could be therapeutic, but obviously you don't want to stay in the gym for 3 fucking hours and just like you don't want to stay in the gym for 3 hours. What about the people that eat whatever they want all day and they stay skinny? So if you actually follow one of those people around, they eat a lot of food for 4 days, then they don't eat for the other 3 days. So they balance out to be around maintenance, which is why they stay where they are. Simple. I used to be one of them niggas like, oh my god, I can't gain weight. Eat a bunch of food, bro. Here's the thing: you eat like those people eat 5,000 calories for 3 to 4 days. Then the next 3 days they eat like less than 1,000 calories because they're full. It averages out. Good habits make it look easy, but those habits are hard as fuck to create if you can't. Facts. Can you date someone that isn't health conscious? What are the impacts of doing so, in your opinion? It's just gonna make everything harder because, like on it. Well, you said date. You mean like if you're seriously dating someone that doesn't have like the same values as you, that'll definitely be difficult for sure. That'll definitely be difficult because obviously you guys want to be on the same team and they're not gonna understand a lot of things. They'll be like, oh, you don't spend time with me, and it's like, dude, I'm literally just working out. What is she talking about? And shit like that, right? But if she's health conscious too, then you might have a week where you're like, damn, I'm not as locked in, and she might be super locked in that week, and that might motivate you. So you guys kind of feed off of each other. It'd be a healthy relationship. But if you're just trying to smash hoes, then nobody cares, right? Did you get the maximum achievement book? Listen. Give me this month to get. I gotta do a lot. Like last month was fucking. It was crazy. All right, last month was just crazy. It was way too much shit going on. Right. I know. I try to stay consistent, make everything look simple, but there was a lot of shit going on last month, and this month I gotta do a lot of shit too, a lot of moving around and shit. But once I do that, I'm gonna get the power of the subconscious mind. I'm gonna get the maximum achievement book, and I'm gonna read those books once I get my like I could actually get a routine. I could sit down and get a routine. I'm not doing all this other shit. I'm a massage therapist. My form can't ever recover. Yo, yeah, that's different, bro. Hey, if you're like those massage therapists that fly around, yeah, they be smashing. Should be crazy. What are your three biggest tips for fat loss? I pretty much know what it is, but just so first of all, being meticulous, bro. Like I said, for you said you're already high protein in a calorie deficit. Make sure you're lifting weights. I know you said you're only doing cardio. Very bad idea. Make sure you're lifting weights. The more muscle you maintain, the more muscle you have, the more muscle you gain, the more fat that you'll burn. All right, and then it's gonna help with your body composition as well and prevent the loose skin. And then the last thing I would say, be meticulous. Be meticulous. Be meticulous. So like if you plateau, you're like, why did I plateau? Well, you know what your normal sleep is. You know what your normal step count is. You know what your calories are, and you know what your workout days are. So maybe you started working out 3 days instead of 5. Maybe you started getting 6 hours sleep instead of 8. You see what I'm saying? Dating someone who doesn't work out and you do will have them being insecure. Listen, yeah. And then that's usually a bad sign. That's usually a bad sign. Like unless they're working 80 hours a week, but that's usually a bad sign because you're gonna go to the gym, they'll be sitting on the couch and just like scrolling Instagram, looking at lean niggas. They'll be looking at my page and shit like that. You see what I'm saying? And if they DM me, bro, it's a wrap, bro. So yeah, you don't want that shit. Like you'll be at the gym doing what you need to do, and you'll have a chick DM me, bro, and I'd be like, oh, it looks like she's single. Oh, she's okay. She's trying to get Shannon Sharp. Okay, bet. You feel me? Anyways, one hard part of dating once you get in shape is finding an equally fit girl to date. Not many health conscious men, even if you're appreciate it, cyberbully. But that's a good point because I'm gonna say this one more time. I'm actually making a video on this, but I'm gonna say this one more time, bro. Listen. Chicks don't need to be locked in the gym to look good, bro. Most chicks, there's a lot of chicks. Like I dated some chicks, bro. Like I promise to God, she like I actually saw her at the gym one time. And she came to me, she's like, oh my God, aren't you blah blah for Instagram? Anyways, like she looked like she worked out. That bitch does not work out. She simply stores all her fat in her titties and a little bit in her ass. Like, so if she can probably be like 35% body fat and look like a goddess with fat titties, bro. Like just Kate Upton type shit. Like that's just her genetics. And a lot of Latina chicks, a lot of black chicks, they store all their, and a lot of white chicks too. College chicks, they store all their fat in their ass, not in their arms, not in their stomach. So they can go out drinking every day. Like there's a lot of chicks. They look like they work out. They could go out drinking every fucking day, and they look like a bad bitch that works out. And then you'll be like, oh damn, she works out. Yeah, she's definitely my type. And you'll be talking to her. You'll be like, yeah, she definitely works out. I don't even have to ask her. And then you start dating her, and she's like, oh yeah. You're like, what are you doing? It's Tuesday night. She's like, oh, I'm just out partying. You're like, on a fucking Tuesday night, and they don't have the same morals and shit you do. You feel me? Not only use cardio. Yeah, don't do cardio, bro. Do lift weights, bro. It's goofy to date a woman who is not health conscious and literally she drinks, sleeps, and doesn't sleep. She likes him, bro. It's just it's not even that. It's the toxic side. It's that and the toxic cycles that are just there, bro. Like drink, obviously drinking's unhealthy. Her health is gonna go downhill, but she's just interacting with low quality, like low level, low quality shit 24/7, and just the date. Like there's no structure to the life, bro. Shit's crazy. Men need to stop saying that they should need women to let them lead. Every man should lead by example. Amen, bro. Amen. Just finding on that's a challenge at times. Yo, yeah. So that's the funny thing. Same place y'all got fit is the same place you'll find a mate. Y'all not running in the right circles then. That's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah, a lot of them like that. You ever try group fitness classes like Orange Theory Blood? Looks like fun. It might be a good social sense. Seeing, I don't know. That's more so like more so women like that type shit. I did coach a few of those classes, bro. I did coach some classes. I fucking hated that shit. Yeah, I don't really like that. Appreciate your Irwin Forbes. Appreciate you toward the maximum achievement book. I definitely got to get that. Definitely got to get that, man. Definitely, I wrote it down in my Google Docs. I definitely got to order that with subconscious, with the part of the subconscious mind, because I left some books in the states. I got to go back to the states to get my books. Low hanging fruit. Yeah, it's just bad energy and drama, bro. Calisthenics plus cardio thoughts. Just do calisthenics high intensity, bro. Build muscle. If you ask me about cardio, it really just depends on where you are in your journey. But focusing on building and maintaining muscle and eating right is going to be more important every time. I'm 312, 5'9", 50% body fat, 147 lean mass, cutting on 2800, weight about 1.5 pounds per week. Should be a goal for me to cut to. Should I try to add cardio if I'm already in a deficit? How do I keep muscle? So how you're going to keep muscle is going to continue to lift weights while you're doing this, but you're losing about 1.5 pounds per week, which is pretty solid. But I would definitely like to see it closer to like 2 to 3 pounds. And then check your body fat percentage every, you know, check it. It depends on if you have DEX or InBody. Check it like every, 6 to 8 weeks or something like that, so you don't focus too much on it. But just make sure you're maintaining your strength in the gym to keep your muscle. Make sure you're keeping your protein high as possible, right? And the 2,800 calories, which is, believe it or not, 2,800 calories is like pretty low for your weight. So make sure you're not overeating on the weekends, or you're not throwing in extra meals, and you're actually hitting that number, and you're tracking your butter, you're tracking your oil, and you're not having a lot of variations. Because I know some people who have hit me up and they've been like, yeah, man, like someone told me, like I'm a fucking dumbass or some shit. Someone told me like, hey man, I'm eating 2,200 calories. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You're not losing. What's your weight? He said he's 270, 6'2". I'm like, listen, bitch. I'm not an idiot. I know you're eating like 4,000 fucking calories, but they wouldn't admit it. So it is what it is. But yeah, definitely be more meticulous on that. A lot of girls don't like it when a man work out because she realizes she's outgrowing her. Might find true, 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 true. Hey, so this camera's about to overheat, so this shit's about to be over. I guess it takes like 50 minutes before this camera overheats. I need to use the other camera. What weight should I go to or not go off weight? I busting DEXA scale to monitor trend. No. With the DEXA, you're looking at your lean body mass and your body fat percentage. In high school and college, I only dated girls in R&O. Why would I want to deal with chicks smoking or hanging out with thugs and how bad? Yeah, man. Unfortunately, bro, I've dealt with all the aspects and shit. And there's just a lot of shit, and there's a lot of just issues when you just pick the wrong chick. Like the dude said earlier, low hanging fruits. Does working out? Oh, if you got a scale, if you bought like a scale from Amazon and it says your body fat percentage or something like that. God damn, I need to put ice on this fucking. I need to put some fucking ice on this battery. But yeah, if you have the body fat percentage scale, that shit's inaccurate. You got to go get a DEXA, or you got to go get an InBody. Does working out when you're young really stunt your growth? No, it's just another way society wants to keep you as a fat fuck. Sorry, that was a typo. I meant, what weight do you recommend for me at 5'9" in those stats? It's gonna depend on your. That's why I said check your body fat percentage. You could have three people 5'9", 170. Two of them can be look kind of fat and chubby, and one of them could be super shredded and high muscular. Do you remember the beat it chick meme? No, I don't remember that one. I don't remember that one. Oh man. Bro, I wish these were pre-recorded so I could go back and see what you said about beating procrastination. Oh, you'll see it. You'll see it. But I can. It is saved though. These are saved. But what I'll say about beating procrastination one more time. Damn, I really need to. Come on, bro. Come on. Don't die on me now. It's gonna die any second now. But anyways, about procrastination, like I said, once you write down your goals, once you have intention, once you're serious about your goals, you are gonna have the desire that you need, right? To actually execute that shit. Like I one thing I don't do is try to negotiate genuine desire. Saying like if you're procrastinating something, you're either scared that you're not gonna, accomplish it, and you need to work on that by outworking your doubt. So the best way to overcome procrastination is gonna be action, but you either need to outwork your doubt, number one, or number two, you just don't want that shit bad enough. And I'm not gonna argue with you or try to convince you to want it better or to want it more. Because if I try to convince you to want something more, it's just gonna it's gonna make you want it even less. But then also it's gonna make it seem like, yo, why does Luther want me to have this shit so much? And then you're definitely gonna want that shit less because you're gonna be like, that's sketchy, right? Simple. If I gain 2 pounds per week on a bulk, wouldn't that be a lot for 1 year? Yeah, you be gaining hella fat, bro. You know, you can't gain 104 pounds of muscle in a year. It's just impossible. So if you gain 104 pounds in a year, which is the pace you'd be at, then you'd literally be gaining like 100, like 80 pounds of fat if it's your first year. So you definitely want to gain like 2 pounds per month if it's your first year at most. 1 pound per month is solid as well. And then also check your body fat percentage. So if you're gaining like 10 pounds a month, when you look at your body fat, you're like, holy shit, I'm gaining way too much body fat. I need to lock in and actually like, lean bulk instead of overly just eat a bunch of shit. No, yeah, you can't build 2 pounds a week of muscle unless you're on steroids. Like it's just not happening. Thanks, G. Much love again. Yes, sir, man. But yeah, that procrastination shit. Like a lot of times we overthink it because if you're procrastinating something, you just don't want it bad enough. It's not like you don't have an issue. There's nothing wrong with you personally. Like you don't have a mental disorder. You just don't want the shit that you say you want. And action always reveals that. Action reveals your intentions. Action reveals your mindset and what you're thinking. That's why I focus on mindset because you can't act if your mindset's fucked. It makes no sense. Like, why would I tell someone like, "Hey, man, just eat this and work out like this," if their mindset around food and nutrition, I mean, and working out is fucked? Like, like I said, the most common issues I see is people when they work out, they think they're like, okay, I'm gonna burn as many calories as I can because I really need that. I really, really need that fried chicken, man. So like Popeyes, they have this new chicken sandwich. People know about this shit. People know about this shit like it's GTA 6 or some shit. People be like, yo, new chicken sandwiches drop. Someone, bro, every time I used to go live on TikTok, like a new person, this is never the same person. A new person would ask me some shit about, hey, you heard about that sandwich drop at Wendy's? Hey, you heard about that Lotto sandwich or whatever? Like rappers be having sandwiches at places. I was like, what? You niggas know about this shit? And I was like, yo, I don't hang out with like big backs. I don't even fucking know what you're talking about, bro. And I would never know that shit. It's just shit I would never come across. Like knowing about the newest fast food drops, like that's some low level behavior, bro. That's some fucking low ass level behavior. That's just some crazy shit that I will never know. Like if you tell me like, yo, there's a boxing match about to happen, that's cool. That's pretty cool, right? But if you tell me like, oh yeah, like I just got this new 21 Savage burger, you're just a fat fuck, bro. I can't hang with you. Would you recommend a DEXA scan every month? It depends, bro. Like I said, man, I would do it every like. It depends on how long your journey is gonna be. I would try to do it every 6 to 8 weeks for mindset reasons because, like, unless you're doing like a show, unless you're gonna do a show and you already predetermined that you're gonna be cutting for 24 weeks and you've cut before and you're locked in and you have a coach, then that's cool. But like, I don't like people doing like if you do DEXA scan every week, you're gonna obsess over the results instead of the process. And I rather people focus more on the inputs. My highest weight was like two. Well, I mean, highest weight recorded was like 226 to 227, but I was definitely pushing 230. I mean, I was a big bitch, but I wasn't taking no pictures at that time, and I was like, yo, I'm throwing this fucking scale away, bro. I'm throwing the scale away. I think there's a lotto sandwich though. There is like a lotto sandwich or some shit. But yeah, a lot. It took like 5 months. Nah, because when he's had the Krabby Patty, I had to slide. See, I don't even know about this shit, bro. I don't even know about this shit. Like this is the craziest shit ever, bro. And that's why I said like who you surround yourself with and what you consume is super important. Mental diet is important. Environment is important. These things are super important because what the fuck, bro? Like what? What? Knowing about sandwiches, bro. Knowing about sandwiches at different restaurants is crazy to me, bro. Like someone did text me that. What did they say? They're like, "Yo, like I understand that I should eat lean, but like this week they got a sale for like you buy one." And I'm like, "You fat motherfucker, bro! I don't know. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's on sale. If poison is on sale, are you gonna buy it? If the only thing available to you is poison, are you gonna eat it? Are you gonna drink it? Just bro, what are you guys doing, bro? You have the option. And by the way, like I said, if you go to a fast food restaurant, you can still get healthy options, but the act of going to a fast food restaurant is just not a healthy thing. Like it's very rare for someone to get healthy options there. There's a lot of sandwich. McDonald's got tenders now. Yo, what is going on, bro? Bro? This is insane, dude. See, people know. Like, I cannot believe this shit is real, bro. Like, without TikTok, I would never know about this shit. By the way, ever, ever. Hey, that's you know what, Nady? That's not funny because I think someone actually said that. They're like, because they were trying to argue with me. They were trying to argue with me. They said, they're like, well, I save money with the Chick-fil-A app and I get notifications. And I was like, you're saving money now, but I mean, you're literally gonna spend a lot of money on that diabetic medication or the insulin or whatever the fuck you're gonna be taking. Because Jesus Christ, big back behavior to have an app, insane. Tips for getting through the large lady cheeks if I'm only packing. But like, bro, why would you super chat for that, bro? Why would you super chat for that, bro? What are you talking about, bro? What is going on, bro? This is so much personal information out here, bro. You only pack a five, bro. Go find you a little chick, bro. Go find you a little, send over the You said because listen, I will tell you something. No, we're not even gonna get into that. We're not gonna get into story time now. But that's fucking hilarious, bro. What is going on here, bro? What is going on? Oh, I hope you're not serious. Oh, you're serious. Or say, yeah, just find a smaller chick, bro. Because I mean, you're gonna have to do missionaries. You're gonna be like, oh, you don't like doggy? You're gonna be like, I just like I don't really like it. It's not really. You feel me? Anyways, y'all stay blessed, man. The